I have talked quite at length on my channel about fake Disney pins. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more in general about fake Disney merchandise. I will say that it at least feels to me like pins are the most prominent type of counterfeit Disney merchandise, considering the fact that hundreds of thousands of fake pins have passed directly through the Disney parks. If you go trading with cast members, the pins that are on their lanyards and the pin boards, about 90 to 95% of them are fake, and all these counterfeit pins end up in the Disney parks. So clearly Disney does have a big counterfeit problem. But in addition to pins, you will find quite a number of other types of Disney merchandise that is faked. What I have today is actually a really cool direct side-by-side example of an authentic piece of Disney merchandise and a counterfeit piece of merchandise. And since I've shown so many comparisons with pins, I thought it would be cool to show a different type of comparison where you can really see the difference between what is actually a Disney item and what is just a knockoff. So I have here a lovely burger pass holder that is from Tokyo Disney Resort. This is a piece of authentic copyright Disney merchandise. I got this about a year ago and I used it at Disneyland since they still have passes. And then this is a counterfeit burger pass holder. And this I found on AliExpress. So the story behind this is that I got the matching hamburger tote to match this pass holder, and since I'm going to Disneyland this summer, I thought it would be perfect if I can make like exactly matching burger ears and do a whole ensemble. So somehow with searching online and just perusing things, I had found on AliExpress that they had pass holders, and I figured that with this I really wanted to find the lettuce fabric and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I thought maybe I could harvest the lettuce from this, or I could at least take it apart and then kind of see how it's made, get a better idea. So I at least knew going into it that I wasn't going to end up with an exact other authentic burger pass holder. I kind of wanted this to aid in my craft projectness, but when you look at the side-by-side comparison of something that is authentic and something that is counterfeit, I think that it's really interesting. So like with most all counterfeit merchandise, unless you have a trained eye, you might think that the item seems pretty good. Of course, one of the biggest giveaways is where did you get the item? So of course your best bet is always buying direct from Disney, but when you buy from online dealers, you never really know what you might get. So these are both items that happen to be based from Tokyo, and on AliExpress I found a lot of Tokyo Disney merchandise that appeared to be counterfeit. There were tons of Duffy and Friends items, lots of bags. And I would have to guess that you're gonna get the same kind of knockoff product and that you're not gonna get the piece of authentic merchandise that's directly from the parks. As well there, you'll also find tons of Tsum Tsums. I've never really been into Tsum collecting, but I have heard that watching out for counterfeit Tsum Tsums is something you have to be considerate of if you're in the hobby. There are also mouse ears that you can find there, and they are what appear to be some styles that are sold directly in the Disney parks, but they too appear to be knockoffs. And then these are some pins, but I had to include them in this video because they are without a doubt the worst fake Disney pins I have ever seen. Prepare yourself for how terrifying these are. These pins look worse than the DIY Disney pin kit that I did. These pins really do look like they are fully handmade, but so poorly handmade, these pins don't have any type of back stamp on them. So I don't even know if I could call them counterfeit pins because they're so poorly done, and they don't even bother to put a copyright Disney on the back like pretty much all fake pins have. And then some other interesting things that I found, you can even find counterfeit Disney fantasy pins and Disney fan-made material. So I'm a big fan of Grape Soda Club and their pins. They do a lot of really cool camera castle slider pins. I myself have a few of them, and on AliExpress I found an absolutely horrific counterfeit version of that pin. This again, so poorly made, doesn't even have a slider. So not only are you finding horrific fake Disney pins, but you're also finding fake fantasy pins there as well. The list can go on and on in terms of other merchandise that's faked, so I'm now going to go ahead and give a little side-by-side comparison of an authentic versus counterfeit piece of Disney merchandise. So on the left here, we have our counterfeit pass holder, and on the right, we have the authentic one. So I'm first going to give a quick overview of what the real one looks like so you can kind of get an eye of what this real deal is. So it's made of this super soft, nice fabric. Everything's really well made. This lettuce is this very distinct fabric. I have been trying to find this actual fabric for forever and I cannot find it, hence why I wanted to try the fake pass holder and see if I could harvest from it, but we'll see that there's definitely a difference. The back has your pass holder slot on here. It has a little icon for Tokyo Disney Sea and Tokyo Disneyland with some music icons. There's quite sturdy clips where you can clip on. The whole handle has little yellow Mickey heads on it, and it does also say Tokyo Disney Resort there. It has a little pull-out clasp there, and then the inside it has a little pouch. So this fake one did come with a tag. Since I've used this, have cut off the original tag that came with, so I can't compare this, but I will note that this does say Made in China on it. This one is made of a less soft fabric. I mean, it's still kind of soft, but definitely not the same kind of plush niceness of the real one. So a total different piece of fabric. Here, the pass holder, there is absolutely no text whatsoever on it. We do still have the clips, but the clips feel so much flimsier, and there is absolutely no text, no markings on our top lanyard. We do as well have the same pull-out clasp, and then on the inside there's also a pouch. So the real one will always be on the right side of the screen. You can see that the fake one is a lot bigger in terms of how much it's stuffed. So this one feels like it's kind of stuffed to the brim. This one, the real one, is a little bit sleeker and slimmer. The thickness of the tomato is much bigger on the fake one than it is on the real one. And then here you can really see the difference in this lettuce fabric. So this is a really nice soft fabric, and it's actually kind of double-sided, so it's two separate pieces of fabric that both sides have this kind of fuzzy texture on them. And this is just one piece of fabric, so it's not split, it's just on the same side. So I was hoping that they would get something a little bit more similar with the lettuce, but that definitely is quite off. You can even see that the size of the pass holder portion looks a lot bigger on the fake one. This seems slimmer, and again, it's missing any of these icons. With the real one on the right here, you can see how much heftier this hardware is than the fake one. You can see this just seems a lot cheaper, much slimmer. And then as well, this fake one is totally missing any of these Mickey head embellishments, any of the copyright Disney. And then this feels a lot flimsier. Now, one of the most interesting things I think is on the inside here. So this is our real one, and we can see it has a little Tokyo Disney Resort tag. It has copyright Disney on it. It has an FAC number and then a Made in China. So the fake one is kind of devoid of most of the Disney marks, except it too on the inside has pretty much what seems to be the exact same Tokyo Disney Resort tag, except this one now says copyright Disney/Pixar. But if you flip it over, this says Made in Philippines. Then it also has the FAC number. So this oddly on the inside has a Made in Philippines tag, although this exterior tag says Made in China, and we know the real one has a Made in China tag. So that Tokyo Disney Resort seems to be like a legitimate tag, but almost taken from some other merchandise and then put in this pass holder. So this was just one comparison example between some counterfeit and authentic Disney merchandise. Now I did notice that a lot of what I saw seemed to be counterfeit Tokyo Disney merchandise. I don't know if that's more commonly counterfeited because it is an Asian park. I'd be curious to know if you've come across any other interesting counterfeit Disney merchandise. With these, it really is very easy to see the difference. If you just had the fake one, you might think that the quality is a little lacking, especially with this holder band area, but it's not like it's absolutely horrible. I'm just interested in who or what is the target for this counterfeit merchandise, because this was kind of hard to find. There were a lot of listings for pass holders on AliExpress, but I didn't really see them on other sites like eBay. So I wonder, where do you most commonly find counterfeit merchandise like this? So it seems like it's easier to stay away from these more physical counterfeit items than it is to say pins, but there is a whole huge spectrum of counterfeit Disney merchandise. Hopefully this video was a little bit helpful and interesting in showing this comparison, and thanks for watching!